Laptop computer spins onto the screen, opens, and displays ATP Education Program webinar series, closes, and then spins off the screen.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to The Power of Choice. My name is Buti. I've been in the field of disabilities for over 31 years. I was a special education teacher, an autism itinerant, and a special ed administrator. I was the director of autism and intellectual disabilities for the Chicago Public Schools. I'm now the proud owner of AIEPA, which stands for Advocate and Instructional Expert for People with Autism. Let's get started. We know autism is a developmental disability that significantly affects verbal and nonverbal communication and social interaction. We know that some are involved in engaging with repetitive activities and stereotype movements. We also know that some demonstrate resistance to environmental change or change in daily routines. Also, some demonstrate unusual responses to sensory experiences. Today's presentation will focus a lot on the first area, the communication. So I wanted to draw our attention to something called the Communication Bill of Rights. If you haven't heard it, if you haven't read it, Google search it and read it. It talks about how all people with disabilities of any extent or severity have a basic right to affect, through communication, the conditions of their existence. Beyond this general right, a number of specific communication rights should be ensured in all daily interactions and interventions involving persons who have severe disabilities. So I want to focus in on a few of those before we get started. If we look at this list here, I've underlined a few that talk about things that are connected to choice. The right to request desired objects, actions, events, and people. The right to refuse or reject undesired objects, actions, events, or choices. The right to express personal preferences. The right to make choices from meaningful alternatives. So when you look at those, it really drives home the importance of teaching our children to be able to make a choice and also providing choices. Choice making in and of itself improves participation. It's an effective intervention for increasing the active participation of individuals with autism. It enhances communication. It's a form of communication. So having frequent opportunities should be provided to students throughout their day to make choices. Choice making gives a sense of control. Choices indicating personal preferences can also function as powerful reinforcement, right? It can increase motivation and improve behavior. So some of the questions I get is, what happens if they pick what they don't really want? Some students may always pick the first choice, or some students may always pick the last choice, or may not like any of the choices that are provided to them. Now what? Well, here's some advice. I like to start with the real items, right? The actual items you're providing a choice about. So whether it's a ball or Play-Doh, they're actually using the items. Then eventually I like to pair those real items with a visual representation of them, whether it's words, pictures and words, but I'm pairing it with them. And then I say respect the choice. So if it turns out they picked something, maybe it was just because it was first or just because it was last, and it clearly is not what they actually wanted, first respect the choice, then provide the choices again. And then you might even have to back up and go back to the real items. Also, sometimes it helps if you provide 3 choices rather than just 2. I wouldn't go too many, at least not initially. But these are some of the things I do when I'm initially teaching a child how to make a choice. I also like to do this thing called structured choices. So those would be whenever you think of, for example, 2 things, that either one of those things would be an acceptable answer, an acceptable result, and you provide those to them. So here are some examples. Instead of saying you have to take your medication at 8 p.m., you might say, do you want to take your meds after this commercial or after this show? All of a sudden, you get that power of, I'm making this choice. I'm taking it after the show. Okay, your choice. Instead of saying you have to clean up now, do you want to clean up now or do you want to clean up in 5 minutes? Well, I'm going to clean up in 5 minutes. All right, great. That's your choice. I'll set that timer. Instead of saying you have to sit in a chair, do you want to sit or do you want to stand? Well, I'm going to stand. Okay, that's your choice. So these structured choices are really, really helpful with like power struggles or some behaviors with kind of compliance. So I use that strategy a lot. Communication strategies that can be used to provide the choices throughout the day. You can use communication books, communication boards, just visuals, or like I was saying earlier, the objects, the actual objects. You can use formalized text systems, or even, of course, high-tech communication devices. But I always say have a low-tech option available just in case the technology breaks down or is not charged, or you need something quick and fast. So when I'm providing choices, like I was saying earlier, respect the choice that's made. Only provide choices that you can follow through with. Start out small, only providing 2 to 3 choices to begin with, and make the choices visual when all possible, whether it's the item, a representation, the written word. And just remember, it empowers the student. So let me go back for a second. So when I say only provide choices you can follow through with, for example, don't have something on the choice board that you cannot follow through with. For example, if one of the choices for my sensory break is to go run in the gym for 5 minutes, but you're short-staffed today and you know you don't have anyone to take them in the gym, that's not on the choice board. If the computer is broken, it's not on the choice board, because this will just cause a lot of frustration, a lot of misunderstanding, and some possible behaviors, right? Because if we say we're going to respect the choice that's made, it has to be a choice we can follow through with. So think about this school day. There are so many things we can empower students with making a choice about. What do you want to do first? If you have the ability to kind of change up your schedule, what do you want to do first, math or reading? How do you want to sit or stand, right? Do you want to sit in this chair or this chair? Do you want to sit or stand, right? How many problems do you want to complete? Do you want to do 5 math problems today, or do you want to do 7? What are they working for? Always, if you're using a reinforcement system, include the student in choosing what the reinforcer is. Do you want to use a pencil or pen? Do you want to use a black pen or a blue pen? Who do you want to sit by? You want to sit by John or Mary? Who do you want to work with? Miss B or Miss Mo? And which sensory activities do you want to do? Things like that. There are so many opportunities to provide choices, to empower the student, and to enhance the communication. Here's some examples of what some might look like. So maybe this is during snack time. Now, again, I said start out slow. So I'm not going to provide all of these initially. And I'm also not going to provide them all if I don't have them all. So remember that. This could be the what am I working for? So again, make sure you have all of these available. But start out slow. Don't provide all of them. Okay, so here they are, choices. You can actually take it off. You put the one you're choosing right there in the middle. So remember, a visual doesn't have to mean a picture. It could be the item, the object. It could be a picture representation, but it might be written. Who do you want to sit by, Mary, John, Brian, or Susan? And they circle it. What do you want to do during your break? Computer, read, chill out, or walk? And they circle it. Right? So it doesn't have to include the pictures, but providing these choices throughout the day will empower a student and encourage communication. You can have just a basic choice board like this available at all times. And then that way, when something comes up, you're like, oh, I can provide a choice for this. Boom, boom, boom. Put them down. Or maybe it's laminated so you can write with a dry erase marker. So you can create those choices on the go. And maybe it's this green board that the student's very familiar with and comfortable with, that they know this is a choice board. So whenever there's anything on it, they know they're going to be asked to choose one. Oh, and you know what? Always rotate where you put things. So don't always put them in the same order, because remember that one slide where we talked about what if it's one of those students who always picks the first item or the one on the right or the one on the left. So make sure you're mixing it up. So you're not always putting, for example, computer, iPad, gym in that order. So we are mixing it up some, okay? So what are my final thoughts about choice making? Choices can be made in all environments. So also encourage family members to provide choices in the home as well, and to pair them with visuals. So if that means you might have to help them to make some visuals or encourage them to use real items whenever possible. So making choices visual. And then honor the choices that the student has made. And then use that strategy that I explained earlier, just in case they made a choice they didn't really want. Okay, but that's my advice. Do choices, provide choices as often as possible, make them visual, encourage students, empower them, and enhance their communication. All right, that's it. Thank you guys so much for coming. I'm Mo Buti. I can be reached at mobuti@hotmail.com, or check out my website down below, aiepautism.com. Have a great day.
Thank you for watching. For more information on the ATP education program, please visit our website at atp.nebraska.gov/education or email us at atp.education@nebraska.gov.